Heather, the rest of the board members should be coming in shortly.
I see him.
Thank you. I think I only see Trustee Calhoun. I see Trustee Ramos. So I think we're just waiting on Dr. Little. Ms. Paula, are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Where's Dr. Curry?
He is on my end, the second block, but he's on here. The only one I'm missing is Dr. Little, but she will join us shortly. All right, so moving on to reconvening from closed session. It is 5:13. Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Present.
Trustee Calhoun,
Present.
Dr. Little, Trustee Lopez,
Present.
Dr. Little. Thank you.
All right, moving on to Pledge of Allegiance. If we can have Trustee Ramos lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Moving on to item number 6, report of actions taken in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54857.1. And reporting in closed session, the board took action to deny an appeal of an employee complaint of discrimination. The roll call vote was as follows: 4 ayes and 1 absence. Moving on to item number 7, approval of open session agenda. Can I get a motion?
So move.
I have a correction, sorry.
Yes,
For the agenda, I have a correction. Can I make that correction?
please.
So on item 17.06, there's a typo in the first paragraph in the attachment. Can you go to that one, Sherry? Where it says to the, there should be a space there. In the first paragraph. Just want to make that correction. And AR 2020, first paragraph to the, that's correction.
Did we do the roll call, Dr. Curry?
Yeah, she did, but she's marked you here now.
We were both in the wrong room in the other link.
Dr. Curry, don't forget 1334, there's a typo.
Now I'm going back to that right now, Trustee Calhoun.
So just when what I believe Dr. Little's point was just to make a note on the record that she is present. And then I'm going to reiterate the first change, AR 2020. There is, I guess we'll call it a grammar correction.
Yes.
And then there's another correction you want to make.
And then board item 13.34. So if we go down to the, I think it's that bullet, the student should not be crossed out. The period, that should still be there. And then the other correction was in, it says yo, it should be to be discussed. But it says yo discussed. And that was Trustee Calhoun's catch. And that concludes my corrections to the agenda.
So I will notate them as 2 grammar corrections. So the motion is just to edit let me pull it back up, apologize. So open session agenda with the 2 grammar corrections. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Ramos and seconded by trustee Calhoun. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
No.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do not have any recognitions today. Moving on to item number 9, request to address the Board of Trustees on agenda and non-agenda matters. 9.01. Ms. Paula, do we have any requests to address the Board of Trustees on open session agenda matters?
No requests.
All right. Moving on to item 9.02, Compton Community College District Board of Trustees, future agenda items request. Board members, do we have anything to add? Trustee Ramos.
No.
Trustee Calhoun.
I'm trying to find it. I don't know if I gave it to Dr. Curry already.
You have one more opportunity in the agenda, so if you don't find it, let me know.
Trustee Calhoun, I can help you. Trustee Calhoun in her questions asked about FAFSA, and she wanted a presentation or a presentation / information / discussion on the number of students who are taking FAFSA and who have applied for FAFSA and who are enrolled for summer and also fall. I'll provide that data in the board packet as a response to her question, but she would like to have that discussed at the board meeting. Am I correct, Trustee Calhoun? If that's the case, I need to make sure that the board, all the 3 board members support this, and I can add to the agenda.
Is that the motion?
No, I just needed a nod. It's not really a motion. If 3 board members are okay with it, I can add it to the board agenda.
Yes,
Yes.
that's your 3.
Thank you.
All right, is that the only item?
That was it that I have from her email.
Got it. Dr. Little?
Yes, I wanted to continue to get an update on our outreach for improving student numbers. So our recruitment and outreach, our admissions.
And that's on the agenda for tonight for discussion.
Right. I'm just saying, can we continue to keep it? I thought it was for future.
That's fine. We could,
Yeah.
if the board wants that as a continued item, I have no problems with that.
Yeah.
Just need 2 other people to say yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. So both items will be on the discussion action agenda for the next meeting for discussion. And I think Dr. Little would like to see the enrollment on there for discussion every board meeting until enrollment improves.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 10, Board of Trustees meeting minutes, 10.01, meeting minutes of June 15, 2021, Board of Trustees meeting. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Little and seconded by Trustee Calhoun. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
None.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
No.
All right, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to presentations number 11.01, Compton Community College District Facilities Project. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so each year in July, we have a presentation from Ms. Linda Owens Jackson, who is our Chief Facilities Officer. And so Ms. Linda Owens Jackson, the floor is yours.
How about that? Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So someone else has the control of the presentation. Welcome. So table of contents, we'll talk about our facilities accomplishments, current projects, future facilities projects, and then Compton College facilities priorities, and then take questions. Accomplishments. In November 2014, Compton District residents authorized the issuance of $100 million in general obligation bonds. And then our next accomplishment, among many, are several major facilities projects that were completed. The public safety building, which is at the entry to our campus, was completed in 2019. And then we had the HVAC and facility, or actually a fire alarm upgrade to the cafeteria and Y area in 2020. Current projects. The first is Instructional Building 1. The architect of record is DLR Group. Project manager, PCM3. The contractor is Cccfv. The current budget is $22.3 million. The state portion is $15.04 million. We demolished rows buildings G, half of F, 2/3 of E, and the modular buildings M1 and M2, a total of 6 structures. We are having ongoing project meetings. Construction is about 98% complete. This is a 43,000 square foot, 2-story building with 9 classrooms, 6 labs, and 19 offices. Building completion is scheduled for August 15th, and then site work, landscaping, punch list is scheduled for completion by August 31st. The next project, Instructional Building 2. The architect of record is TVP Architects. Project manager, PCM3, contractor again, Teleq. Current budget is $25.6 million. The state portion is $16.2 million. We're having ongoing project meetings. The construction is about 41% complete. And this building is 30,200 square feet, 2-story. It's got 10 classrooms, 4 labs, and 13 offices. This project also removes row building D, the remainder of E row, and the remainder of F row. Building completion is scheduled for December 2021, with the demo of rows D, E, and F, site work, and landscape completion in April 2022. The next project is the Student Services Building. The architect, TVP Architects, project manager, PCM3, contractor, Teleq again. This project was done with a community benefits agreement, project labor agreement. The project budget is $25.2 million in Measure C bond funds. We've already demolished the old library building. This will be a one-stop shop for student services. 34,400 square feet, 2-story building with 1 classroom, 1 lab, and 62 offices. We're having ongoing project meetings. The construction is 48% complete. The building completion is scheduled for December 2021, with the demo of the Upward Bound Math Science site work and landscape completion by February 2022. Our next project is Administration Building Renovation, and the architect is TVP Architects, project manager, PCM3. The project budget currently is $5 million, Measure C bond funds. This is for counseling and admissions and records. Counseling and admissions and records will move over to student services. We'll renovate the existing admin building, and then we'll move administrative services, human resources, and public relations offices into this space, with estimated completion December 2022. The next project is the Vocational Technology Building Renovation. The architect of record is TVP Architects, construction manager, PCM3. Current project budget is $12.3 million, Measure C bond funds. This renovates the existing building. We're reconfiguring space to include the cosmetology program and also expand the HVAC or heating, ventilation, air conditioning area and update the welding area. Estimated completion December 2022. And that brings us to the physical education PE complex with the pool. The state approved the project in July 2020, just last year. Since that time, we've got an architect of record, Trustees Architects, the project managers, PCM3. Our current funding is $45.6 million for the project, with the state portion at $23.1 million, and then Measure C bond funds $22.5 million. We've held meetings with end users. The architect is preparing drawings to submit to the division of the state architect. We just got an estimate of the check required to submit. It's almost $290,000. That's the fee that we have to submit to the state in order for them to review this project. Estimated completion is February 2025. It's a 60,000 square foot building. Sorry about that. We can move on. That's it. Visual and Performing Arts Complex. We're expecting state approval sometime this month. The architect of record, we have to prepare an RFP, and we're in the process of preparing that to go out to bid as soon as we get approval from the state. We're working on it now, but we can't expend any funds until we get state approval. The project director is to be determined. Project budget currently is $11.5 million in Measure C bond funds. This project will demolish 3 existing buildings in the Y area. This will not touch the little theater that was already renovated. Estimated completion would be November 2025 once we get approval from the state. Next slide. Did I lose you guys? Oh, okay. Next slide. Future projects. This is our master plan that we've been working from. We've accomplished quite a bit. Some of the red, as well as some of the black buildings with little R's. You see just renovation, and the red ones are brand new buildings. Next slide. Facilities priorities. We'll continue to implement the Compton College 2019 Facilities Master Plan. We'll complete the following current facilities projects, which include Instructional Building 1, Instructional Building 2, Student Services Building, the Administration Building renovation, the Vocational Technology Building renovation, and the Physical Education Complex. We are going to, for our priorities, we'll continue planning for the following facilities projects: the MIS building renovation, the Math Science building renovation, the Able B Sites Junior Child Development Center renovation, the Student Activities Teaching Learning Center, Maintenance Renovation Replacement, Campus Housing Project, and the Solar Array Project. And just to give a little bit more insight, for the Able Site, the CDC renovation, we're submitting a final project proposal to the state, along with an initial project proposal for the Student Activities Teaching and Learning Center, and an initial project proposal for the Maintenance Renovation Replacement. Those 3 projects will be submitted once the board has approved. This item is on the agenda for this evening, and it's due to the state prior to August 1st. So other projects are, of course, campus housing, which we've been working on for the last couple of years. Hope to get some funding from the state. Again, we're working with a team on that project. And then the solar array and electric charging stations and various projects are part of our priorities. This concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you so much, Linda. I'm going to open it up. Trustee Thomas, any questions or discussion?
Could you give me more details about the solar array and charging stations?
So we've been working with initially Compton, the city of Compton had some solar charging stations that they were giving away. So we jumped on board and we were going to get about 15 of them for the campus until they sent me over the cut sheet for those charging stations, and they had to be in an enclosed building. So we had planned for them to be out in our parking lots. So we're still working and looking at other opportunities to get into the solar array.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for the report. I really enjoyed the update and the actual dates of completion. Thank you.
All right, Trustee Calhoun.
Ms. Owens, did I hear you say that the city of Compton is giving away solar?
They had joined with the government. They had offered charging stations. So the city of Compton had picked up about 200. And from that 200, they were offering it to local entities like ourselves. So we, of course, were interested in having some solar charging stations on campus.
Right.
But unfortunately, they didn't work with our current configuration.
We won't be getting them.
So not those. We're continuing to look to see what other opportunities there are, but we could not have a charging station inside a building.
Oh, okay.
We don't have any buildings that would hold people to drive their cars and charge them over. So
Okay.
yeah.
And the buildings that, I visited the campus and I did a walkthrough with Dr. Curry, and I love that whiteboard. Is it called whiteboard?
Yes.
I love that in all the classes. And I saw where there's going to be a bench and the students can plug in to charge their phones and stuff.
Yes.
And there was one section where I pointed out to Dr. Carey where there were no charging, but it was a bench there. It's outside of the one in the classroom. Dr. Curry will have to tell you what building it was, but I love them whiteboards. And then didn't you have a screen that comes down?
Yes.
A screen that comes down. I'm just telling you, I walked all through it with Dr. Curry. I loved it. I thoroughly. We got a good tour. And the last one is about the pool.
Okay.
You don't have to go back to the pool thing. You don't have to go back to it on the PowerPoint. I know I had asked before, and I know you said that it wasn't there, but would we have to look at extra money in order to enclose the pool? You don't remember what I was talking about?
Yeah, to totally enclose the pool, we would need additional funding. That currently is not part of the scope of work that was presented to the state.
Right. No, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe we can find a big donor.
Yeah, we got really fortunate with this project.
Right.
Typically does not approve projects with pools.
Exactly. So that was very great. Thank you for that. I was glad about the pool. I mean, like even in the summertime, what's there? We have a lifeguard. The community can come in and use the swimming pool. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that report. You hit all the buttons, or is it the bells? The bells and the whistles, you hit them all. Thank you.
Dr. Little.
I do not.
All right. Thank you so much for the presentation, Linda. We appreciate the update always.
Okay. Have a great evening.
All right, you too. Moving on to item number 11.02, Compton College Health Center. And I did see Mario Chavez, but I'll move it over to Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so I would like to introduce Mario Chavez with the St. John Well Child and Family Center. provide a presentation on the Compton College St. John's partnership. Mario, it's on you.
Good afternoon, trustees. My name is Mario Chavez. I'm Director of Government Affairs and Community Outreach for St. John's Wild Child and Family Center. Our president, Mr. Jim Manja, sends his regards. Unfortunately, he was not able to join us today, but I do come with great news. Our partnership is stronger than ever, even during a pandemic year when we didn't see students on the campus. We have some very impressive numbers to report. So can we go to the next slide, please? All right, here we go. So growth during the pandemic, which sounds like an oxymoron, actually took place at our college campus, right? At your campus during our partnership. So St. John's provided COVID testing to students and community members. 746 of those tests were administered in 2020 and 892 in 2021. And then came the actual life-saving vaccine. We've been providing vaccines at your campus for approximately 5 months now. And during that time, this is super impressive. We've vaccinated, and this data is about two weeks old. So 19,050 doses have been administered to students and community. That's an average of about 1,000 doses per week, which I actually supervise all of our mobile vaccination events and community pods. And this is actually one of the most successful vaccination pods that we operate. So, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge your leadership as a board of trustees, but especially the leadership of our visionary president, President Curry, who reached out to Jim Manja and asked if we could bring these life-saving vaccines to the campus. So that 19,050 is a huge number. I was actually discussing it with some colleagues and they were blown away by the number. So, let's keep it up. Let's get more doses in people's arms. Obviously, we're beginning to see, the numbers rising again. We're on our 12th consecutive day of over 1,000 COVID cases being reported at the county level. And I really feel that that's a huge undercount, given that a lot of what were COVID testing sites are no longer in existence because now everybody's focusing on administration of the vaccine. So I think the work is actually more important than ever. The new Delta variant is twice as contagious as the Alpha variant, which was the predominant variant that we were seeing here in LA County. So this work is very important. Can we go to the next slide? So if you look at the numbers, 2019, patients that we actually touched was 2,405, 2020, 2,250, and that number of 20,896 is actually short. It should be 21,788. So that's a huge number. And I think it's also the work that we've been doing at Compton College is also putting us on the map with the community. The community knows that if you need a COVID vaccine, you come to Compton College. So I think that's great for visibility and just the community knowing that they can come to Compton College if they ever need anything. So let's move on to the next slide. And here's the breakdown of actual in-clinic patient visits. These are regular primary care visits that are not COVID related. There was 1,820 visits and 26 behavioral health visits. Next slide, please. Here's the breakdown of patient insured versus uninsured. Close to 90% of the patients that came in, that's that 1,820 that we saw in the previous slide, were insured patients, and close to 11%, 10.89% were uninsured. Obviously, keeping in line with our St. John's
Mario, you're muted.
sorry about that. Where did, I don't know how that happened. Okay,
It
so
just jumped
we're
off by itself, just the last sentence. We heard you up to that point.
okay, perfect. We'll move it on to the next slide. So these are the different diagnoses, obviously a majority, and they just compiled it all from 2019 to 2021 to give you a sense of what types of diagnoses we're seeing at the clinic. A majority obviously would be COVID if you include this year, but non-COVID related, we're looking at 3,048 patients have been treated for STI or STD related treatment. 2,810 patients were treated for behavioral health services to treat depression. 68 patients were treated for hypertension, which is actually very important now because that's the population that can have complications if they do contract COVID, right? 195 patients were treated for anxiety. 398 patients received immunizations. That should actually be 20,400 and some if we include COVID vaccines in there. And 48 patients treated for asthma, 88 patients treated for cold and flu, 65 patients treated for irregular menstruation, 44 patients treated for a throat infection, 28 patients treated for diabetes, and 1 patient treated for COPD. Move it on to the next slide, please. And here we see the actual launch of our vaccination pod on your campus. It was February 22nd, 2021. So yeah, it's exactly 5 months ago that we began this work. And like I mentioned earlier, we're averaging close to 1,000 vaccines per week, which is very impressive. Obviously, things have slowed down. We've experienced that slowdown at all of our vaccination sites. It's not just specific to your site. But given the Delta variant, I do anticipate we will begin to see more people coming in requesting vaccines. This event was a great launch. Relevant people there were obviously our great supervisor, then Senator Holly Mitchell, Compton College President Keith Curry, our president, Mr. Jim Manja, Dr. Muntu Davis, the health officer of the LA Department of Public Health, and there were a good group of Compton community members. Okay, we'll move it on to the next slide, please. And our clinic is actually open Monday through Thursday. Mondays are extended hour day to be able to serve community members that might work and can't come in before 5 o'clock. So that's from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And then Tuesday through Thursday is our regular schedule from 8:30 in the morning to 5 p.m. Obviously, we do provide primary care services. The list of services is there. Our annual physicals, pap smears, anybody that wants to enroll into My Health LA or Medi-Cal or any program they're eligible for, we have benefits counselors on site that can help people with that. We do birth control counseling and provide free reproductive health education and condoms. And if anybody needs any type of physical or blood work associated with the physical, we're also providing that. And as you know, more important than ever, vaccinations now and general wound care. And we have behavioral health services as well, RISE case management, counseling therapy on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and substance abuse recovery counseling on Wednesdays. So that concludes my presentation, and I'd be more than happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Trustee Ramos. Any discussion
No
or
comment.
questions?
No comments. Thank you for the report.
Welcome.
Trustee Calhoun.
Thank you for this great report. That is excellent. I have a question.
Yes.
Do you know if the St. John's on Wilmington and 132nd is still doing the COVID testing. People are calling and asking me, and I said, I'm glad you're here tonight.
Yes, we actually, like I did mention, we did scale down our testing operation and refocus the majority of our personnel, like medical assistants, LVNs, into our vaccination work. But our large sites, like the one you mentioned, like our site on Hoover and Slauson, a majority of our sites do still offer testing, but it has been limited to people that are symptomatic and people that have experienced known exposure, which means somebody in your household tested positive and informed you of it. Somebody at your workplace tested positive and informed you of it. We are in the middle of conversations now talking about bringing back more general testing, given the Delta variant and a lot more interest. I mean, my cell phone has been blowing up for the last 2 weeks with people that, you know, had my information from the days we were really focusing on testing, asking about testing access. So they can call our hotline, and I will give you that number, and request a test. Our call center is, I'm sorry about the delay. Here we go. 877 612 8299. That's 877-612-8299. And they can actually, request a COVID test, and they will be referred to the closest clinic where they would be able to receive that test.
Okay, I'm glad you told me that, because somebody called me tonight and I was getting ready to tell them just go up there to Wilmington 132nd. So I'm glad you told me.
We do take walk-ins, so if anybody, you know, is not tech savvy, does not want to make a phone call, they can go, but just know that we right now, management is still under the understanding that it's for symptomatic patients or people that have experienced known exposure, which means that somebody around in their circle told them that they tested positive. And we are working on trying to expand that. Like currently I operate 4 mobile clinics, and part of the dialogue we're having right now is if we want to reinstate COVID testing along with the vaccine work. Where it gets a little challenging for us is the provider type, right? Right now, on our COVID vaccination vehicles, we have registered nurses that are actually observing the patients after the vaccine, right? There's a 15-minute observation period for people that don't have a history of anaphylactic reaction. There's a 30-minute observation period for anybody with a history of anaphylactic reaction. So if we do bring back the COVID testing to the mobiles, we will have to shift provider type because it's a nasal swab, and we want to make sure it's either a family nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, or an MD that's doing the swabbing.
Okay. Thank you so much. Great report. Thank you. And I'm so
You're
glad
welcome.
I'm so glad you have partnered with Compton College. Woo woo.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're delighted to.
Dr. Little.
Yes, I just want to also say thank you. I put my comments in the chat. Thank you so much, Mario, for your leadership, obviously to the president over St. John's and all of the staff. And I think, again, I know the press conference and the continued weekly communication. Thank you, Heather, and all of our communication team. But would love to really see how we can amplify the fact, to your point, that when people were in dire need and had no real understanding as to access, Compton College really became the center, and St. John's became the center of access for testing and the vaccine. And knowing that our communities were disproportionately impacted, I really would hope that we can continue to tell the story, not only about the access, but about the health benefits and wellness benefits to our broader community. Because again, this is very profound, as people lost a lot during this time and could not, for no fault of their own, access real medical services. And again, beyond the pandemic, all of the other services that you all provide within the community. is really, really applauded. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Curry and the entire team.
Thank you, Dr. Little. Appreciate it. And I am reading your comments there. And we can run a report on vaccine disaggregated by key identity indicators such as race and gender. So I will relay that back to Jim. We will have our data analysts run the data for you out of the 20,000+ vaccines we've administered, and we should be able to give you a report on that. And I think, you know, everybody on this call knows that our communities have been disproportionately impacted. Black and brown communities, API communities have been disproportionately impacted and continue to be with this variant, right? Right now, one of the largest groups that we're seeing is African-American men 18 to 30 years old that are really getting hit hard by this Delta variant. So we can't, you know, let up. We have to continue to do the work that we're doing. And you know, we really appreciate your leadership and the partnership with Compton College.
Thank you again so much. So important. Thank you, guys.
And I do want to echo some of the sentiments of my colleagues. Thank you so much for joining us and stepping up for our community. You really have been a gem in being able to service our demographics, given the low numbers that a good number of our community members did have. So again, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to item number 12, reports for representatives and employee organizations. Associated Student Body Report, Stephanie Leonor del Cid. Is she present? I don't see her on the list. Let me move on to 12.02, Academic Senate Report. Did I see Dr. Menadova?
Yes, I am here, but I do not have a report today. I do not have a report today. Thank you very much.
No problem. Let me move to 12.03, Cccfv Certified Employees Report. Holly Schumacher. I did not see her on the line. I did want to make sure. Moving on to 12.04, Cccfv Classified Employees Report, Amenkwa McKenzie. I did not see them. All right. We are moving to item number 13, consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Trustee Calhoun. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
This is where I pulled the ones I'm talking about.
Correct.
Okay. 13, 15.
Trustee Calhoun, do you want me to just, if you sent questions, I responded to those questions, share with the
Yes.
board. If
Yeah,
anybody
you
from the
have-
public would like to see a copy, I can forward it to them upon request, but I've answered all your questions, and I thought that would be our process for moving forward.
Yes. I didn't hear you say anything, so that's why I was giving her the numbers.
Okay. So if anybody would like to see a copy of Trustee Calhoun's request, her questions, you can send me an email. I'll put my email address in the chat.
So I want to confirm, Trustee Calhoun, that you don't need an additional update during the meeting, that what was provided to you in writing will suffice?
Yes. Which I'm trying to be good with everybody's time. You know, not just mine, yours, but also staff that's been at work. And so I was just trying to simplify it. So I told Dr. Curry I wanted him to just make a statement about if anybody wants a copy of the questions and the answers that he gave me, they could email Dr. Curry and they could get it for him. That way I don't have to pull them, or do we have to do it for the record? I'm just asking. You're the chair.
this is really up to you. You let me know. Would you like to let the public know what you have asked and what Dr. Curry has responded? Or is that for your internal purposes, or just to have the audience also know? That's why I asked your comfort level in wanting to share the questions you asked and the responses that were given to you.
No, I want to do it the way we're doing it. I want to do it where Dr. Curry has answered the questions. He sent them to the board.
Mhm.
And instead of pulling every item, then the statement is that if anybody would like to know the questions that I asked Dr. Curry, they could email them. I'm just
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. And so Dr. Curry has placed his email in the chat box, which is kcurry@compton.edu. If anyone does want to see what Trustee Calhoun has asked and how she was responded. Is that correct, Trustee Calhoun?
That's correct.
Got it. Moving on to Dr. Little.
1316 and 1317. And I had a question about 1320.
All right. Dr. Curry, we have 1316, 1317, and 1320. Let's start off with 1316.
The question for both of the ones around Blackboard, Dr. Curry, I was just trying to get clarity that this was for upwards to, I think it said on 18,000 students, but the contract ends June of next year. So do we have an estimate as to how many students they're actually going to be working with or impacting?
So the first contract is work that we're doing with them with College Promise, sending text messages and phone calls for students for fall enrollment. However, when working with our enrollment strategies and what we're trying to do for the next year, I thought it was very important that we have a contract with Blackboard for other groups that we're working on for recruitment, where I don't have to keep coming back to the board or for ratification. So this gives us the opportunity to do more text messages and also telephone calls for other outreach components of our strategy as relates to enrollment. So for example, we're going to be doing some texting and phone calls, messages to students within our district from the ages of 18 and 24. And so Blackboard would take on that contract in the next week or two as relates to that. But we wanted one blanket purchase order for Blackboard to do some of these outreach strategies instead of having multiple contracts.
Okay, so is just as the final question for those two, can it be extended? Like, so in terms of if we don't hit all the numbers or we don't have that many students, it seems like it's a lump sum up to this number.
No, so basically what it is not to exceed 40,000, but it goes back into stretch. So for example, with the first one, for example, it depends on the number of people that's in the list. The price will also reduce based off of that. And that gives us other opportunities to do recruitment with another group based off of that contract. Does that make sense? So even though we might not fill for the campaign, it could be 3,000 students, right? But we were planning to pay for 10. We're going to pay for the amount that we use.
Okay, so it's going to be augmented. It's prorated.
Correct. But we're not paying them all the money up front. We're paying them based off the campaigns. But this is a blanket purchase order. So we have more time I would say more time. We don't have to keep coming back to the board when we want to do a different campaign with Blackboard. Now we can be able to do a blanket purchase order. And as a part of our strategy, we can be able to authorize Blackboard with the work.
So this would be the cap. These
Correct.
two amounts would be the cap. And then we would get an adjustment. And if we need to, moving forward further past June 2022, the difference will be returned to the budget. And then we will make a case whether or not we want to continue.
Correct.
Okay, but it's not just
we
that.
provide reports to the board as rates as well.
Okay, so it's just not, just for clarity, if it's 1 or 18,000, it's prorated.
It's based off how many text messages and phone calls they're actually able to work with. So it's prorated, yes. But we're not providing them all the money up front. We're providing the money once we get the campaign going for any of the campaigns. We're paying them for that campaign, but not to exceed total amount of $40,000.
Okay, I would really like to make sure that we ensure that there is a cap on the outreach of the number of emails to the corresponding students. So for example, if we have 4,000, that it doesn't exceed, like 4, if that's a normal amount, right? So that they're not just sending them out and we're not getting any benefit from it, but yet they can say, I sent out this number and still get that full amount. So some sort of clarity around a cap of the number to the same students.
Yeah, we can do that, and we provide more information as we move forward.
Thank you. And then 20, it was, I had more of a question around St. Francis. First of all, the clarity, is this stating that our nursing students will go over to St. Francis?
That's another clinical location for it. So we have multiple clinical locations. We also have Martin Luther King Hospital as well.
Okay.
We have multiple sites.
Okay, so this is just authorizing the fact that it will count toward accreditation and that they've met, because they're recently purchased, right? The new oversight.
I know they have some I know they had some type of purchase. I don't know the details of it, but for us with this contract, it just gives us another site for our clinical rotations for our students.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that the new owners were accredited and we had done our due diligence. I believe it's Cedars, but that was the question that I had, just to make sure that if they are under new leadership, that, you know, we've gone through to make sure that our students, if doing their rotation there, won't have any issues. So thank you.
All right. Seeing no further questions, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 14, action items. And I want to confirm, Dr. Curry, none of these can be looped in.
Yeah, you can loop in a couple of them. The one you can't loop in is 14.03, 14.04, and 14.05.
3, 4, and 5. Correct?
Yes.
So board members, I want to put a motion before you if you want to, if we can put together item 14.01, 14.02, 14.06, 14.07, 14.08, 14.09, 14.010, 14.11, 14.12, 14.13, 14.14, 14.15 to vote as one item versus individually. Trustee Cajon, I feel like you have a question. I want to make sure I answer.
I do once
You're taking it as one, correct?
I'm asking, I'm putting before a motion if we can put those all together and vote as one on this particular, with the exception of 14.03, 14.04, and 14.05, which require an individual vote on each one.
All right. So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved in second. And this is just to have this voter. Do we have any discussion on these items?
Just, can you clarify for me?
Oh,
I have a question for 14.01.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't get an opportunity to say there were a couple that I wanted to look at. And so I was confused about how we were going through the whole list. I was waiting.
We will still discuss each item. What
Okay.
the motion right now that we're voting on is to be able to, it's still two separate votes, if I'm not mistaken. We're moving the motion to vote on each of these as one together, we can still have a discussion on them.
So 1403, to have a discussion and to possibly not or vote is something that we would have to pull out, correct?
We're skipping as a unit we're individually voting on 14.03, 14.04, and 14.05. The motion that I brought before the board is to vote for everything under action item except for those three.
Okay.
So aside from 14.01, is there any other items that we want discussed under action items?
I just had 14.01. That's all I had.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Little, did you have any other one?
No, mine was covered with the first four.
Okay, got it. Trustee Calhoun? I think those were part of your questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, those are part of my questions.
Okay. So Trustee Ramos, go ahead and ask your question.
Is there like an expected already number for that one covering the enrollment fees and tuition?
Yeah, right now, based off our numbers that I received from staff, it's about $527,000. But we're asking the board approval for up to $600,000 and include the students' fees for the associated student body fee, enrollment fees, student representation fees, and health fees, and enrollment fees, but not including out of the country because I need to get a guidance from the federal government if you could pay off international students, and I don't know that. And so we did not include them in our spreadsheet, in our numbers, but it's $527,000 right now. And so we want to continue to fine tune it. If something comes up, but the request is up to estimated at 600,000, but the data I got today was 527.
That's all I had. Thank you.
And if the board approves, we have a letter that will go out to the students, let them know that fees have been paid, and we want to include in that letter, here's information about fall semester.
All right. See no other questions. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call for the motion?
Wait, is that for number one, or are we going to 2, 3, and 4? I thought we set aside 2, 3, and 4.
We set aside 3, 4, and 5. So if you have a question within the groups, so then 14.02 would be part of the discussion we're having right now.
Okay, no, I'll come back to 3, 4, and 5. That's fine.
Correct. So go ahead and 14.02.
No. I'm 3, 4, and 5. That's the one I want. So we can go ahead and do the roll call.
Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 14.03, Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution number 0615-2021B, budget transfers and augmentations for the fiscal year 2020 and 2021. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
I heard Trustee Ramos first. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No discussion.
And Dr. Little.
Yes, I had a question in terms of the outstanding operational. Was this just the timing of posting these, or why are they after the fact?
Because technically, when we did this one, the first one, 12.03, 12.14, let me make sure I got my numbers right. 14.03, this one was on the board agenda last month, but the board did not vote on it. And so it was, I didn't notice this until I got the minutes a week ago, or a week and a half ago, that the board did not vote. So I had to go back and had the results fixed. and then I have to bring it back to the board because these were supposed to be approved by the board in June. Every month you get a budget transfers. They're for the prior month. This one was for the month of June, and it was not voted on by the board. So I have to bring this back to the board today for approval for June.
Okay, and the $1 million other outgo, what is that?
I can't, give me 1 second. I gotta look from another area. Give me 1 second. I want to say that is for the OPEB payment that we made, but I need to double check that. Dr. Nasser, are you there?
I'm here, Dr. Curry. I was having difficulty with my, that's in the restricted fund, Dr. Curry.
Okay, I gotta look at it. I'm trying to open it up right now.
Okay, we can move on while Dr. Curry looks it up. That was the question for that one.
Okay, so I can be able to follow back up with the board regards to the that transfer for the restricted fund.
So are we now to number 4, President Lopez?
We still have to vote on this one and
Okay.
not have it. I think that's what happened last time we ended a discussion. So Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call for this one?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 14.04, Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution Number 07-20-2021B, Budget Transfers Augmentation for the fiscal years 2020 and 2021. Can I get a motion?
So move.
It's been moved by Dr. Little. Can I get a second?
Second.
And it's been seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion, Trustee Ramos?
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun?
No.
Dr. Little?
Yes, very quickly. This is for June, correct?
Yes.
So I was just wondering, the increase in the legal budget for HR, is it based upon just the increased need or anticipated need? And then for the faculty teaching and learning, the increased budget, was that as a result of negotiations, or is it specific to particular topics?
So the first question, I want to say in May, the board approved the contract increase for our legal counsel. And so we had to do a budget transfer to increase the budget to pay our legal expenses. And some of it had to do with the COVID-related items that we had for this past year. So that's why we increased the budget, and we brought back the contract to the board in May, and I can just double check when that was done. Regards to teaching and learning, this has been one of our focus for the college regards to teaching and learning. And so different departments, divisions submitted professional development activities that they want to bring forward, which I included in my newsletter that I approved. And so these are dollars that we're utilizing for that for this fiscal year. The $210,000.
And that's the aggregate across different departments based upon requests made for faculty for the 21-22 fiscal?
Correct.
Okay, and that process is throughout, it's a process that any faculty member can apply to, and it has to have specific outcomes as it relates to students?
So it was included, I can send you more information, but I included some information in my board packet of my campus newsletter. But we working with our teaching and learning, with our coaches from Achieving a Dream, and working with our Achieving a Dream work group, we developed a process regards to this, work with our professional development liaisons for each of the divisions. And they worked on with the divisions, different projects and different activities that they brought forward. So I included information in my previous newsletter. If there's more information you would like on this, I could bring it forward. But they just now started. One of these that's being worked on, English and math, have a community of practice that they're doing this summer. We have the math department doing the new curriculum creating shells that align the math curriculum in certain courses that they'll all be teaching the same, which will connect to the workshop they do throughout the year. So I can provide more detailed information on that if you want it as well. But and then Lauren Sasenko and her evaluation team are working on a whole evaluation for each of the projects.
Thank you very much, Dr. Curry. I just think that I know you communicate a lot, all of the various partnership resources allocated, especially to our faculty as it relates to professional development. So would love to just highlight that as we all seek to continue to work collaboratively together. Thank you.
Right. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call, please?
Certainly. Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to 14.05, Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution Number 07-20-2021C, Budget Transfers Augmentations for the fiscal years 2020 and 2022. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Little and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No discussion.
Dr. Little.
Just one quick clarification. So this 282,328 is in addition to what we just discussed in June, Dr. Curry?
So this one has to do, yes, but it's some other items. Dr. Nasher, can you help me out on this? Because it's not just the teaching learning. This had to do with, I'm sorry, the language on this is wrong. That's the reason why it's confusing. This has to do with the one-time budget augmentations. As I talked about in one of my newsletters, we had budget augmentation for the previous year that had to be funded this year. And that's what this is.
Okay, so that's what the 3 itemized amounts are for, not for teaching and learning. It's just the wrong label.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That was where the other question was coming. I was just wondering. Thank you.
Actually, Dr. Curry, if I may, this is part of the teaching and learning and the FY21 carry forward enhancements.
Correct. But with the previous month, we had the same item is there for the previous month. Do you follow me, Dr. Nasher?
Okay. So we put it again. Okay.
Yeah, we have it twice. And so that's the reason why Dr. Little was asking questions, because he saw it twice.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's not an aggregate of 281 and 282. It's to whichever one of these that'll be corrected.
Correct.
Is that amount.
Correct.
That's all I was asking. Okay, thank you.
No further question or discussion?
No.
All right, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 15, discussion and action items. The first up, we have 15.01, report on the 2021-2022 annual planning cycle at Compton College. Dr. Curry.
But this goes into the questions from Dr. Little. I just want to make, and I have documented these in my newsletter, but in your packet, this is our updated report that was prepared by Institutional Effectiveness regarding our planning efforts for 2021-2022 year. And so it includes what has been funded and also some items that we still need to fund based off of student equity and achievement, strong workforce. But this gives you a good sense, and this is our 3rd or 4th year doing this report. And it also, we talk about the lessons learned as we move forward. The one thing we want to try to continue to get better at is ensure that the money is provided early on for different departments and programs. And we have done a really good job this year, but next year we want to try to be a little bit more done earlier and maybe having it done by May of 2021. But this is more for information and discussion if the board has any questions. But I think this is something that we should be proud about as we document our processes with regards to resource allocation.
All right, so there's no recommendation on a action to vote on, correct?
Nope.
All right, moving on to 15.02, Compton College full-time equivalent student. Dr.
Yeah,
Curry.
so one of the things I wanted to talk about a little bit, today I had a meeting, I had a campus-wide meeting about enrollment and enrollment strategies, and I am more than willing to each month have discussion with the Board of Trustees regards to enrollment. We've been declining enrollment for summer and fall. We're looking at between 15 to 18% decline in enrollment. And so we're really trying to focus our attention on different group populations. And I want to share this with the board of the groups that we're really focusing on. We're focusing on former Compton College students who are enrolled in summer of 2019 through spring of 2021. We also are focused in on the Oliver W. Connor College Promise eligible students from Compton Unified, Linwood, and Paramount Unified School District, the recent graduates. We're also focused on the Compton College Fall 2020 through Spring 2021 students who applied but did not register. We're also focusing on Fall 2019 to Spring 2021 career education majors and non-completers who have not enrolled in Fall 2021. The next group we're also working on is our National Clearinghouse. So National Clearinghouse has the data for higher ed and also K-12 of students who are enrolled in higher education. And so working with Compton and Paramount, we have for the last 2 years, for 2018-19, students from their two districts who did not graduate, who graduated, but are not enrolled in college anywhere. And so we're working through those lists as well. And then we have 3 other groups that we're working on, and this is a part of the SWIM contract that the board approved about a month ago, was in-district non-college students between the age of 18 and 24, in-district non-college students between the age of 25 and 45, and then in-district college ESL eligible students. And so what we're doing is we have a target population of 8 different groups, and we're utilizing Blackboard, which the board has in regards to text messaging and also phone messages for students. But then also we're doing emails to in-district students through SWIM. We're doing text messaging, and we also have a call center on our campus. We have 9 student workers. We're trying to hire more to make phone calls to those 8 different groups. And then we also have a postcard going out to our residents. Regards it's not too late to register for Compton for fall. And then we're also doing a not too late to apply for the Oliver W. Connor Promise program for our students from our local school districts who graduated last year, but also graduated 2019-20 and also 18-19. And then we're also working with graduate communications, where we did work with Strong Workforce, and I outlined that in one of my newsletters. So we're doing a lot of different activities. Today, the staff had some ideas that I thought were really great. And so I'm going to summarize those activities and try to incorporate in our plan, but really trying to focus in on those 8 different populations and focus on those students. Someone asked me, Dr. Curry, can we have staff at the local target or in the community? I'm against that. I think with COVID-19, we have to be focused regards to our recruitment efforts and focus on populations and those students that we need to, students that are that we have information on. We also want to, one of the things I brought up today was regards to students who say they're not going to come back to school or not going to register for school, to find out why. And so we're going to add that in our call center questions to find out why students are not coming back. I thought that was, or not coming back or not enrolling. I thought that was a really good question that was asked today. Also, someone asked today about we need to do more on social media from TikTok to IG, and we'll be looking into that as well. But really focus in on the 8 areas, 8 populations that we want to serve, and we're really focusing on those activities. And each month I'll be providing updates to you as relates to those activities and how the numbers are looking for the college. Every college, not every college, but most colleges in California are really struggling with enrollment. And within our area, colleges are down with regards to enrollment. But I think we're focused on who we need to serve, and there's going to be an influx of dollars from the state regards to outreach efforts, so we can be able to increase what we're doing throughout the year. And so we'll continue to look at that as we move forward. Rebuilding our enrollment is not a one-year thing. This is going to take a couple years to build our enrollment. Not only do we have COVID-19 that impacted us, we also had the impact of the transition from El Camino College. They all hit at the same time. And so we're working through that, but that's why our FTS is protected through 2025, 2026. And that concludes my update.
And to confirm, there's no action being recommended, correct?
I said that concludes my update.
Got it. Board members, do we have any discussions or questions?
No.
Nope.
All right, moving on to item number 16.01, Administrative Services Grants, the Mickelson 20mm Foundation. Can I get a motion for this one?
Before you do that, can I make one correction? In the document on one of the pages, it refers to us as El Camino College Compton Center. And I was gonna make that correction to that item on the contract. And so it's on the contract. Give me 1 second. It's on the contract on. It's on the agreement on page 2. It's just a Compton College instead of El Camino College Compton Center. And I do apologize for the mistake.
Okay. Making those corrections, I do need a motion to vote on this particular grant.
So move.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos. Do I have a
Second,
And
second.
it's been seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos,
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun, Dr. Little.
No.
All right, Ms. Paulo, can you do the roll call for this item?
Trustee Ramos,
Yes. Aye.
Trustee Calhoun, Trustee Calhoun, Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez,
Aye. Moving on to item number 17, Board Policies and Administrative Regulations. Board members, if you have any particular item that you would like Dr. Curry to focus on between the numbers of 17.01 and 17.9, after he gives his presentation, I will call upon you. Dr. Curry.
No updates besides these are the updated policies, and I'll also follow back up on 2 items from the previous meeting in regards to the ASB name change, and then also the President CEO title change. And so there's no really update for the board regards to policies, unless you have any questions.
Board members, do you have any discussion or questions? Dr. Ramos, Trustee Ramos.
No,
Sorry.
no questions.
Trustee Calhoun. Dr. Little.
No questions, and Trustee Calhoun will be back shortly.
All right, thank you. This is not a voting item, so moving on to item number 18, information items. Board members, there is 18.01 through 18.26. Dr. Curry will present, and if there's any particular questions, I will go to you. Dr. Curry.
There's really nothing to highlight on this. I actually go back. There's one thing I do want to highlight. I think it's important for the board is item number 18.18. I'm sorry, 18.19 regards to our irrevocable trust for OPEB and also for our pension stability fund. It just gives you the performance letter of how much money is in the account as of June 30th, 2021. And I think that's something very important for the board to see. We're doing really well in that area. And then also when you have time, you can see the facilities program master schedule with Linda talked about the project, but give you more information about our schedule and what we're working on as a college to complete these projects. And that concludes the information items.
Board members, do we have any discussion or questions? Trustee Ramos.
No, no questions.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
No.
All right, moving on to item number 19, future agenda items. Dr. Curry.
All we have is the budget assumptions next month and also nursing department update.
Okay. Moving on to item number 20, oral reports. 20.01, President Curry.
The only report I have is we're focused on outreach and recruitment activities for the college. And I hope everyone's having a wonderful summer. And on the week of August 16th is our welcome week. As I outlined in my newsletter last night, we start off with the new faculty orientation on the 16th. We have an adjunct orientation on the 16th in the evening. And then on the 19th, we have our professional development day 1. And then we have which is mandatory day. And then on the 20th, we have the academic senate professional development optional day. So we're gearing up for the 2021-2022 year, and class begin on that Saturday. Also, too, I just want you to know that the ASB president, Stephanie, she did join the meeting.
Yes, she emailed her report. I'll read it during my time. Or done, I'll let her shine in a bit.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. I am connected.
Thank you. Give me a second, Stephanie, and I'll acknowledge your report after the Board of Trustees presentation.
Thank you.
Trustee Ramos.
No report.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes, and I meant to ask this prior to this meeting. Dr. Curry, I remember the last time we had the graduation, one of the students had asked a question about putting the correct field that they graduated in on their diploma, and I think you were saying something like that was when El Camino did it, and when the Compton College does it, like whatever your degree would be on your diploma. Did that ever get fixed?
We fixed that, but we also said for students who contact us for prior years, we'll fix it for them.
Right. Okay.
And I provide that as an update to the board a while ago.
Right. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. My board comments. I attended the California Association of Black School Educators Conference, July 11th to the 13th. Oh, it was so fantastic. It was titled the inaugural, y'all know what I'm saying, Institute Blueprint 2.0, the national conversation. That convention, the conference was fantastic. It had our partners from Compton Unified School District was there, Linwood, Paramount, and other schools all around the state came together, high school board trustees. And there were some college trustees there also. And all of the topics were great. But out of all the topics, meeting new friends and greeting old friends, the best one for me was implicit bias. They had part 1, part 2, and part 3. And the training was done by Dr. Bryant Marks. And he unapologetically showed all of us about our own bias. And he told it, and everybody knows about it. If you went to Catholic school and you wrote with your left hand, the nuns or the teachers would spank that left hand and make you put that pencil or your ink pen in your right hand and force you to write right-handed instead of left-handed. And we don't think about that. And then he talked about, how the cheers, when we used to go to school or you still go to school and you sit in the chair, there's a little opening, and the opening is on the right side and not the left side. And it was so great. I loved him. I hope that we can get him one time, Dr. Curry, not just for staff, not just for students, but also the board members. And one of the things he talked about is, and he made it a good topic. He made it so that we were all involved with it. We gave responses. And one of the biggest things he asked, he said, why are HR departments still asking for your name and your address and your age and your ethnicity? He said, why are they doing that? He said, no, why are they doing that? He said, because when you see a name like Shaquita or whatever, you just automatically think that's an African-American name when it could be a different nationality name. And so he was talking about the HR departments need to start looking at new ways in order when somebody sends their resume, either putting a number to it or something, find a different way to do it so that everybody can be on equal grounds. And you don't necessarily know their age, ethnicity, where they live or whatever. And that was very eye-opening to me, because for me, it showed some of my bias. And I said, oh, I don't have any bias. And he said, oh, yes, everybody has them. Everybody has them. And he taught it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I have bias. Don't exclude yourself because you think you don't. But the way he taught that class, everybody would enjoy that training module. And you would leave realizing your own individual bias. It was a fantastic conference. There's going to be another one in October, I think, in San Diego. And so I attended another meeting from our college with the students. I'm sorry, I forgot which training. I attend so many different trainings and different lectures. I need to start writing them down. But it was with the students, and they were great. They were great with everything that they was talking about. Dr. Curry knows what it is because I came on. She told me to come on around 1 or something like that, and Dr. Little was on it also. I think I saw her name up there. And those students were dynamite. They were fantastic.
It was the Leadership Academy, Trustee Calhoun.
Oh, okay, thank you. We just have some fantastic, outstanding students along with staff also. I mean, I have to give you, ladies and gentlemen, a hand for all the work that you do and everything that you have to go through day by day and still teach and still go home or be home and be with your family and still do the things that you do and still do your job. I applaud you. I do. I really do applaud you. And I thank you for working for Compton College. I thank you for being a student, faculty, staff, and everything else. If I could give, I would give I could. I don't have a grade. I would give all of you an A++++. And to the board members, all the work that you do too on your own job, and then for be it a trustee, and then still have to go home also, and then on Zoom and the work you do. I applaud you, ladies and gentlemen, also. I say that because I'm retired. So I don't get up and go to work or get up on Zoom all the time, except for when it's for, you know, the CEOs and the DEI. So I'm not doing it like, so I have to applaud all of you ladies and gentlemen for your hard work and dedication. And so I thank you for being at Compton College and all the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trustee Calhoun. Moving on to Dr. Little.
So I just want to reiterate the great program of the Leadership Academy and all of those participants who went through on behalf of the college, its mission, its students. Want to thank again our partners at St. John's and the great work that we continue to do despite the challenges that we're facing in the community. Thank the entire administrative, faculty, classified, everybody who continues to ensure that we have access to higher education within our own community. Thank you again, Dr. Curry, and to all of our peers and those who support this meeting each month, who stay engaged on behalf of our broader community. And just want to encourage each of us to continue to put our health first and the health of others. and continue to wear our mask and do our due diligence. Thank you, President Lopez.
All right, thank you so much. And I wanted to make sure, actually, I was going to give up my time and have the ASB report, who has some connectivity issues, log back in and give her report. But she also emailed me in case she continues to have connectivity issues and I can read it off. So ASB President Lenore, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good evening. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Compton College colleagues, and honored guests. My name is Stephanie Leonor Del Cid, and I serve as the first ASG president for the year 2021-2022 academic year. I am here today to provide the first ASG report for July. I apologize in advance for my connection issues, as today I'm in Guatemala. Hello from Guatemala. First, ASG has been updating their process to streamline communications between ASG students and Compton College. We have begun using ASG department emails for communication. This is to ensure our Compton College colleagues and students are able to reach out to one email year after year to be able to connect current members, both as a group and individually. We will provide those emails to you all later this week. Second, ASG is currently recruiting to fill our open positions. We recently completed 2 interviews and have 2 more scheduled this week. We're excited to add to our council to better serve and represent our students. Third, ASG is excited to attend the ASG Summer Retreat on Friday, August 13th, created and hosted by the Office of Students Development. That day, we'll be discussing ASG procedure and policies, leadership development with a Clifton Strengths certified coach, and creating SMART goals for the 2021-2022 academic year. This will conclude my ASG report for July. Thank you and have a great evening. Before I finish, I want to add to a personal comment to something Dr. Cahoon said. You referenced, Dr. Cahoon, the implicit bias, especially around hiring. On ASG, we have done this process of inclusive turning off our cameras and being present to the interviews because we agree with your thoughts on implicit bias, and we're doing our part so that we can have a great experience for every single participant. So thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for every single time you have shared everything with us. We are taking it in account. We're trying to be innovative as possible. And thank you everyone for every single comment that you give. ASG is listening, and we're trying our best to give every student to Compton College the best possible ways to be involved with our college.
Thank you so much for that report and that comment. I want to close off. So our next scheduled board meeting is set for Tuesday, August 17th. Closed session does begin at 4. Open session does begin at 5. I do want to remind the community that we do have a scheduled retreat on calendar for July 24th from 9 to 12. Thank you very much, everyone. And this meeting is concluded.